Hi, this is Chris from the Stephanie Miller Show. Please enjoy this exclusive clip from Political Voices Network.
Okay. Yes. And by the way, Boebert says she would like to sponsor a bill to put an electric fence, alligators, and sharpened spikes at the border. Because that's what Jesus would do. And he'd be like, is razor wire enough? I don't think so.
I don't think alligators do well in the desert Southwest.
I don't think so, yeah.
Do you think she hasn't thought this through, Chris?
Here's the real question. Lauren Boebert's going to be out of a job in January.
Yeah.
Will she ever get one bill passed?
No.
Before then.
Oh my God, she came in 5th in the straw poll in the district she carpetbagged to because she was going to get blown out in her original one. Hilarious. Carl, I'm sorry. You know what? I don't have as much book learning as you do, being a fancy school board. Here's another thing I just thought of that plan, Chris.
Okay.
Wouldn't the electric fence electrocute the alligators? Because if you put an electric fence in the
Conceivably, yes.
water, and then you put okay.
Don't whiz on it.
So, because obviously you work with the youngins, chime in on this whole Taylor Swift thing. Some of this I didn't even know. Her donations in 2023, $50 million for truckers, $30 million for food banks, $20 million for the animals. Somebody who tweeted here, I'm beginning to think that all the hatred evangelicals have toward Taylor Swift is because they can see she's far more like Jesus than they are. This one, Melody says, Taylor Swift, she read the random blog of a mom who just lost her toddler to cancer. Then she wrote this song from the blog post. Then she wrote to the mom to be sure it was okay. Then she put it on her album and donated all the proceeds to help with pediatric cancer. I mean, isn't it just the dumbest thing ever politically? You're having trouble with women voters and young voters. Oh, I know. Let's attack the most popular pop star in the history of the world, right?
Well, there you go again, Stephanie. Clearly, all of these machinations of the Taylor Swift people are just more psyops of people trying to control the narrative and brainwash the American people. And we're going to see Joe Biden take off the quarterback's helmet at the Super Bowl. And all along,
and the Scooby mask.
Joe Biden hasn't been president. He's been playing for...
Yeah.
The Chiefs?
He's the quarterback of the Chiefs, yes.
The Chiefs, yeah.
Yeah. Despite his decrepit age.
Yes. And you know what? The right has their people, too. They have Kid Rock. They have John Voight.
Yeah.
Yep.
They also have Kid Rock.
I don't think they get it. Someone actually said Lauren Boebert is our Taylor Swift. I was like, oh, well, if Taylor Swift get handy J's in theaters rather than selling out stadiums and giving all the money to charity, yeah, sure.
And I apologize. I realized I did list a list of conservative celebrities, including Kid Rock, but I forgot to mention Kid Rock.
Yes, I'm sorry.
And Dean Cain. They have Dean Cain.
Dean Cain, too. Yeah, and
the lesser of all Supermans. Carl, I mean, it is, God, I know it's one poll, and we keep saying, polls are bull until we're winning, and then we mention them. I think Black Knight said, oh, Biden's beating Trump now, so the media will never mention the polls again. Right. But, I don't know whether you think, just beyond one poll, which obviously, is tough to, count on, but it feels like stuff is sinking in. You know what I mean? In terms of the stuff Biden has done and has accomplished, I know that they were saying consumer confidence is way up. Like the Biden economy, hopefully, is starting to, penetrate people's consciousness. What do you think?
I don't know how it can't at this point. I mean, what did we see? The last quarter grew at 3%.
Yeah.
I remember presidents talking about how they would hope that they could get the economy going to a fiery pace of 2%.
Yeah.
So, look, are there people hurting in this country? Yes. But I think the real economic anxiety doesn't come from when you see it reflected in polling, at least, and it's, across various different economic strata. I think it actually comes from worry about their democracy.
Yeah.
Okay. I think people are worried about their personal footing economically when they worry about whether or not this country is going to be the one that they knew throughout their entire life going forward. And so I don't think that is something that is being driven by Joe Biden. I think that it's something that's being driven, the chaos, the uncertainty is being driven by Donald Trump and his allies.
Yeah. And also, again, seeping through even the mainstream media, the Washington Post headline, and we have literally the best economy in the world right now. Like Biden has done unbelievable. I mean, Larry Kudlow has stopped slamming, screwdrivers before going on TV. I mean, it's
Let me worry. The stock market hitting new highs today, the Dow and the S&P, and of course we bring in the great Jerry Willis to report on it. Jerry, if you don't report on it, it didn't happen.
Love it, love it. Yeah, good day for stocks, right? Stocks edging higher ahead of the Federal Reserve meeting this week and ahead of the big tech earnings coming out this week. The Dow is up by 224 points.
Oh my.
The S&P higher by 36. The Nasdaq rising 172. Both the Dow and the S&P in record territory.
and that's on Fox News.
Yeah,
On
right.
Fox Business, yeah.
Fox News is even forced to talk about how good the economy is. We have, what is it? Oh, Stuart Varney also
Yeah.
talking about it. But, oh my God, Carl, this is why, even for Trump, it was ridiculous, his stupid truth. And he's like, the stock market's really the Trump stock market because they know I'm going to win. I mean, even for him,
Right.
that was ridiculous.
I mean, I didn't think that Trump would be capable of such gymnastics at this age. But apparently he could do cartwheels and somersaults because the logic there is just ridiculous.
Yeah. Here's Stuart Varney real quick. And
That the next time KJP or the president takes any kind of questions of any kind on the economy, that Washington Post article is going to be right there, front and center. We've got the best recovery. And that's a pretty good political slogan in an election year.
Well,
They're spinning it forward, saying a lot of the investments and the money that was spent, there was a lag effect, like for infrastructure. Now you're starting to see the benefits.
That's what they're
So
saying.
hang on with us, because now you're going to start to see all that big spending is paying off and your life is going to get a lot better.
Watch
That's
out.
the pitch.
We're very critical of Bidenomics, but with a headline like that, they're going to run with it.
Why not?
oh, I see. Things.
Right.
Right. I think what they're saying is it gets better, Carl. It's going to get better? I think so.
Yes, I think that's exactly what they're saying. And what's interesting to me is how controlled they are in when they're talking. I mean,
Yeah.
even it's still Fox News, right?
Yeah.
So, but if this were Trump,
You wouldn't want irrational
Maybe I-
exuberance on Fox News over the holiday.
no, they'd be on an aircraft carrier talking about the economy with Trump landing by helicopter, and you'd be like, "Why are we on an aircraft carrier?" And they'd be like, "Shut up, the economy's great."
Yes, exactly. So let's talk about Quinnipiac. Obviously Biden up by 6 in this one. But thanks to his massive 22-point lead with women voters, Carl, I mean, it's just, it's not our imagination that women are pissed. I mean, first of all, their
Yeah.
front runner's a rapist. And secondly, he's taken bodily autonomy away from millions of women. And also this whole storyline, no, Democrats don't want Biden. 96% of Democrats support him, 2% don't. So it's the screechy 2% that we're talking about.
Look, we always have, and more power to them. Look, I think over time, the faction of our party that wants change has a good impact on our party, and we want them inside the tent,
Of course.
as we go to beat Trump in November. But I think what's interesting to me, and you mentioned at the top of the segment, will the media talk about the polling that shows, with that to the same extent that they talked about the polling that had Trump up? No, they won't, because they rely on tension, anxiety, fear to sell advertising and viewers. And, a poll that shows this is not as capable of doing that. And so what will happen is if a poll, and by the way, the polls are going to be all over the map for the next year. Sure. And every time Biden is behind in a state, in a poll,
Right.
in a weird demographic that they weren't expecting, they're going to talk about it as if the sky is falling.
Right.
And let me tell you, the sky is falling.
Yes.
Not that Biden is going to lose, but if you're not operating every single day thinking that the sky is falling, then you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Okay? You need to, as I say every time we talk about the election, if you don't wake up the day after the election so exhausted that you didn't even see the results the night before, you didn't work hard enough.
That's right. That's right. Well, so, I think there's all other significant things in this. Independents favor Biden 52-40, but the gender gap, women 58 to 36% support Biden. Another thing, of course, everyone's going to talk about is Haley in a hypothetical matchup leading Biden by a few points. But it also, with less than 50% and a slate of third-party candidates, so, I mean, again, that's such a hypothetical. She hasn't been tested. Of course you can go like, oh, I don't know. I guess there's an anybody but Trump vote out there. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, and she's not going to be the nominee.
Yeah, well,
So-
and there's that.
Right, yeah.
It is hypothetical in
right.
every way.
You know, I don't know if the pollsters know this, but in order for her to run against Biden, he has to beat the guy that she wouldn't attack until after the primaries had started.
Right. Right.
So, and that's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
She's not even going to win her home state.
Yeah. Yeah.